Hello, everyone. It's me, Val. It's been a little while, I realize, but I had some things that happened in my family. Anyway, I'm back, and I hope you're all well. I know that's a big ask these days, so anyway, that's my wish. Here I am with 12 number 3, and I usually make these journals so that they can be used throughout the whole next year. So, hence the name 12. She is probably the largest journal I have ever made and heavy. She is over 4.5 pounds. She is really chunky. But as you can see, she's all covered with cloth. Beautiful, beautiful textiles. This one on the front is a gorgeous vintage textile and some antique lace that I put on her. And then this textile is so pretty. I'm going to turn her like this so you can see the spine. Is so pretty. Of course, I put a couple of labels there, but look at the bird. I remember years ago when I found this textile, I think it was created to be some sort of a curtain or shade or some type of drape, but it was rolled up on a roller. And I just thought it was just amazing. So I used that textile, which is antique, on the spine and the back of this book and put another little label there. Oh, she's so heavy, it's hard for me to turn her. But anyway, and then I put this little piece on the front after staining it a bit, but just to kind of set it off a little bit. This is a definite writing journal. She's got a pretty little twill tie closure, super soft, that I aged a little bit, but this is some vintage twill that I found. Let me move her here. Did you hear me groaning? She got 6 signatures. So 2 months per signature. And I'll show you what all these are too. All these little, they look like fuzzy things, but they're not. I will show you what it's all about here. All right, so let's open her up. She was constructed entirely of scratch, I should say. I had a couple of covers from a book that I had taken apart quite a long time ago and saved those covers. They were heavy duty, nice covers, and I thought those would be perfect for 12. So she has a couple of pockets in the front. Let me show you the back. Ugh. Sorry about all my groaning. She's so heavy. And a couple of pockets in the back as well. And we'll get more into that. But I wanted to show you the inspiration for this year's 12 was these beautiful book pages that I had. And they were January through December. They're so pretty, the botanical imagery on them, that I had saved them special. I knew I wanted to use them for this book. And so she's got a lot. I mean, she is so loaded with ephemera. I mean, and spanning, let's see, the ephemera spans from the mid-19th century to the mid-20th century. But she has so many pockets and places, tucks, things like that, that I just loaded her up. Yeah, all kinds of gorgeous bill heads and stuff I stuffed down in the pockets and everything. And a lot of these are antique pieces. And then up in this pocket as well. I'm not going to pull everything out. That would probably take up your whole day if I did that and explained everything. So I'm not going to do that. But I do want to explain another inspiration that I had, which I had purchased these 4 Seasons and they were like trade cards, and they all came together, the winter, spring, summer, and fall, and I'll show you throughout. But that was a good jumping off point for inspiration as well. So I wanted to use those. So I constructed 4 different types of envelopes. And yeah, and all these cards, which is all the fuzzy things you saw on the top, I wanted to make these cards to write on per month. So you can pretty much use it any way you wish, but I'll take out those throughout so you can see. But yeah, so I flipped through here pretty rapidly. So I determined that 15, 16 pages, and I think I went with 16 pages per signature, which times 4. Anyway, the whole thing added up to 384 give or take pages. So plenty of writing space for, you know, the whole year or whatever you want it for. And yeah, stuck stuff, clip stuff, tuck stuff. 2 pockets here on this February. Isn't this pretty? I love those book pages. More tucks there, and here's a little flippy thing. Here's this gorgeous antique piece. I don't know if you can see it. It says The Seasons. Nice place to write. I'll put that down in there. And here's another place that, is there anything in there? There might be. I don't know. I'm not going to take it apart, but anyway, plenty of places to stash stuff because we have plenty of stuff we need to stash. So quickly going through here, use some, what do you call this kind of paper? I can't remember. It'll come to me. Maybe. I don't know. Old brain not working. Just shut down. Yeah, all kinds of things that I stuck in that little tuck pocket. Made another pocket here and more ephemera. Isn't this pretty on March? So pretty. Put a couple pockets here with things inside there. Here's another one of those cards. Whoops, can you see? Let me pull her down there. So I stuck 12 of these different month cards in strategic places so that they can be written on as well. Truly a writer's journal, using whatever I had that I really enjoyed. Printed on some dictionary page there, and used some John Darien. That being a writer's journal, I thought this would go well. Here's April, and she's got a couple of pockets as well. Oh, I guess 3 pockets because I put another one of those cards in there. Here's a belly band. This is the spring one. Isn't that pretty? And so these do pop off so that you can write underneath, and then they go back on. I like doing that because it gives you a little different writing space. And then these all have pockets. And then these envelopes all have a tie closure. And then, you know, nice space in there to keep whatever you need to keep. Maybe you want to keep some receipts, or maybe you want to keep special photos, or, you know, whatever. So those are fun to make. And I used the, oops, this goes here. I used the Graphics Fairy digitals pretty much, not in total, but pretty much on this journal. Here's another tuck with a nice bill head in there. It's so pretty. The color is so pretty. So let's see if we can find the next month. Oh yeah, this flips out here. Here's another tuck here with some different pieces in here. Here's May. Isn't May pretty? Use some vintage clips as well. Used a lot of vintage and old antique ledger and papers, book pages. This is wallpaper that I had. I supported it with this pretty paper on the back, and I sported the fold too. Here's June. Pretty, pretty. Another tuck. Oh yes, I had a lot of these little pieces that weren't even written on, and so I thought I'd include some of those in there as well. Yep, and this is a ledger. Oh, I don't know how old this ledger is. It's pretty old. The paper is so nice, but some of it was ripped, so I thought, well, it would be a really good idea to use it like that. So, yeah, I thought, I'm not going to cut it off. We can use it. Some Pepin paper as well. Some scrapbook paper. Here is the third envelope. Isn't that pretty? This is summer. And it's the same as the others, but just a different pattern. Let me see if I can put that back in there. Yep. She slips back in there. I had these gorgeous little flower postcards. These are not old, but they're so pretty. So I put a few in there. Here's July. Isn't July pretty? I just think those pages are great. I don't even remember what the book was. I just don't remember, but yeah. I wish I did, because I'd look for another if I could. This is 1883, this ledger. Here's some bits and pieces that I put in here. Some handmade paper. Here's August. Pretty pages in there. Here's a pocket with some old and new pieces. This is really old. I harvested this out of a scrapbook. And you see I left part of it there on the back. It's so delicate. And thankfully not as brittle as a lot of them are, but sometimes they fall apart when you harvest them. I've tried warm water and different things, and some things work and some things don't. Here's some handmade paper and stain papers, and look at this pretty paper. It's not wallpaper, but it's just a decorative paper, but it's so pretty. I also had a lot of these bird cards that I included as well. September. Pretty papers. I had a friend that gifted me lots of letters from the early 1900s to the, I think this is 1945, this particular one. And what a great gift. Here's a little old piece there as well. And here's October. Here's another place to store something. And here is the autumn card. I don't know if you can see that. I'm checking my phone to make sure you can see that. Those were super fun to make. I really enjoyed making those envelopes. I made a lot of them, but I chose just to use the 4 seasons, so 4 of them in this journal. More of some of the antique bill heads. This one's 1900s. This is 1928. Not antique, but getting there. Here's November. I think November is probably my most favorite one. Another bird card and some other things pinned there. This is really pretty. This is handmade paper with leaf inclusions. It's beautiful. I've had that for years. And don't keep your stuff, just use it. Enjoy using it. And here's December. I think that one's one of my favorites as well. December. And yeah, more bill heads in there. I was going through my bill heads and it's like, oh, I've got to use these. I have got to use these. They're becoming too numerous. So I like this little piece. It had all the calendar pages ripped off by the previous owner, but had December 1904, and it's Scottish. I thought it was so pretty, so I stuck that in there. And then at the end, again, 2 pockets. I put this gorgeous piece in here. Makes a beautiful writing spot. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That's pretty much all I can say. Oh my goodness. Largest journal I have ever created. But I hope you enjoy that. She's already sold. She was a commission work, so she will not be in my Etsy, but I have plenty more that will be showing up in my Etsy. Don't you fear, but hopefully not as large as this one though. All right, I hope you all stay well or get well, and I have enjoyed my time with you. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. I appreciate you all. Take care. Bye.